Hi everyone. Today we are riding an ENGWE bike again. Well, again. Last time I didn't have any riding to do because the bike that ENGWE gave me was illegal to use on the road. Hang on a minute, I'm just going to stay out in the middle of this lane here, and this is one of the things that we're dealing with today. Okay. Yeah, we are going to be dealing with cyclists positioning. I'm going to have a little look at a few junctions and what you should be doing, whether you're driving a car or whether you're riding a bike. And this is the important bit from today's video, and that's why it's on the driving channel, because I need to try and educate drivers on why cyclists do take up certain positions. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn left at these lights. You don't want anyone to be coming past you at this point, so we're going to stay in primary. Primary is in the middle of the lane, and doing a left turn like this, you should stay in the middle of the lane you're going round whilst going round to the corner. Secondary position is from 50 to 100 centimeters from the left curb. I'm not gonna go back to that position because I need some safety space away from these cars to the left hand side. So that's why I'm staying in primary. There's another lane people can get past, so it's not an issue, it's not a problem. So I'm riding an ENGWE bike. The last one we had a walk around because it was 1,000 watts and it was illegal to ride on the roads. Now I'm staying out in primary here because of this junction, just watching the van to this side, still watching, being careful of it. Now I've got a little bit of an issue here because of the park one, so I'm just watching people. And now I'm going to come back to secondary, which is about here on the road. I've positioned my camera today directly above the front wheel. Just going to deal with this and coming out. Yeah, I've positioned my camera directly above the front wheel so people get an idea of where I am positioned here. It's super important to be outside of the door zone. Yes, for the reasons that you don't get doored, but it's also so you've got space if someone ran out. The faster you are, the further you should be away. Can I clear the crossing? Yes, I can. All right. So yeah, what bike is this? It's the ENGWE C275 Pro. It is road legal. The power is 250 watts, although most electric bikes can go beyond that. That power level and output that they say is continuous power. So this is a continuous power of 250 watts max. So it makes it legal. Weight wise, it's only 23 I think kilograms. I'm just staying in primary. I'm just being careful of this one now as well. Okay, sound. Now I'm just going to come back to secondary for a bit, just so there's a little bit more room for motorists to come past. I'm all right with that pass. I should be out in primary here, but I'm not going to go further out, so that was a little bit of a balancing act with the traffic. But I'm going to hold a position just outside secondary. Who's on the horn there? Is that lorry driver complaining about cars giving way to pedestrians? Okay, so yeah, outside of door zone. That then protects you from having a door opened on you, but like I said, it's also in case people literally run out. So faster you are, further you got to be away. It's not just the door opening for you. So back to the bike. It is, it's a commuter bike, no suspension on it. And the interesting thing for me, the reason why I wanted to have a look at this bike whilst I was doing this video, was it's an automatic gearbox on it. There's no gears. There's a 3-speed automatic gearbox. I'm going to try and explain how it works. Up to a set speed. I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's starting off, it stays in first, and then is it when you get up to maybe 8 kilometers an hour or something like that, it then changes to second, and then I think above 15 it changes to third. I can't actually see the display. I'm going to explain why in a second. Again, just being mindful of my position. I'm staying here for a couple of reasons, because I want to make sure that other vehicles can see me. That one shouldn't be overtaken there. I want to make sure people can see me, and we've also got another junction up ahead, so if it had gone through on the left hand side in that scenario, I then would have been having to move back out. And I'm going to stay here in primary of the left lane of this road, even though there's no specific lanes at the minute, but I think you can understand where I'm coming from. I'm again going to stay in primary. You don't want people coming past you mid-junction. So for all you motorists saying cyclists are in the middle of the lane, there are plenty of reasons why they do it. Okay, so again, I'm staying out. It's a junction here to the left, and I've got to deal with the parked car up ahead. So I'm going to let this one pass. Have a nice early arm signal and out beyond that door's width. Excuse the audio if the audio's pretty poor. It is pretty windy today. Back to secondary. So for all the motorists who say, oh, cyclists in the middle of the lane, honestly, you just need to understand how things are meant to be done. I'm going to turn right at the next set of lights. So I'm just going to have a look. I'm going to put a signal on. He's held back. Thank you, buddy. And I'm going to stay in primary coming up to this junction. I'm going to put an early right signal on so people know where I'm going and why I'm out here. Communication's key. And then I'm going to have another right signal. I'm going to try and plan a gap to go. Yes, we're okay. Round in primary, and I'm staying out because of the bus, but I'm ready to tuck in behind. There we go, bus driver. Gives me a chance. There you go, nice thumbs up, there you go. How often does that happen? So I'm going to stay out in primary here, again past the junction, and I've got another narrowing. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to be mindful of this. Is there anyone else? No. Okay, so yeah, I can't see the display. Cool, that's quite tough. I'm going to explain how this bike is working. In fact, I'm just going to come in here to the left and stop a sec. So I'm going to go back to what I was saying, that I can't see the display. It's because I've got polarized glasses on, and this display that we've got on this ENGWE P275 Pro is like what I say about the petrol station displays. Sometimes you can't see them with glasses on. So is that a deal breaker? Not really, but you can't use polarized glasses because your screen doesn't display. But the screen is pretty good if you turn them off. Reason why I'm blowing is because this bike was in its second lowest setting. Tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to take these off, put these in my pocket for now. I'm going to give you an idea when I ride, when it changes gear. I'm going to explain to you a little bit about how it does it. I'm blowing because that was, like I said, in its second lowest one and not really fit at the moment. But I hope you understand what I'm talking about this positioning. Like I said, this is why this is going on the main channel and not the cycling channel. I am cycling, but I'm trying to educate drivers probably more than cyclists, but cyclists still have got a lot to do with this. Many clips that I see and I comment and I analyse, the cyclists aren't very good. They're absolutely awful at commanding when they need to and submitting when they need to. And the key was with that bus back there, if you think about what I was doing, I was quite commanding, quite positive with my position to do that busy right turn at set of lights, but then I was ready, I was anticipating the bus. If the bus signals, and I should, and I can let them out, I should let them out. And then that then gave the van to my side a chance to go past. I think the van actually did go past the bus though, didn't it? Or did it? Can't remember. Anyway, it's by the by. So this bike, it's a commuter bike. It's got a belt drive. And this is another thing that I just want to have a little look about this bike. It's no oily mess. It's a carbon belt. And combine that with lack of gears, honestly, it's a great way to get around. So I'm going to try a higher mode. You can turn it all the way off. It was originally in the off setting, but I had it onto the second setting, which is it trip? No, I can't remember. Anyway, I'll go through these. So the second setting is a T, third setting is sport, fourth setting is sport plus, and then the fifth setting is boost. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a go in boost just for a little second and hopefully get my breath back. So I'm going to get going when I can. It looks as though it's pretty clear after the Ford. Off we go. So I'm in first gear and I'm pedaling slowly, and it's when I get to 15 kilometers an hour it goes into second gear, and then it's about 19 kilometers an hour where it goes into third. And you don't have to do a thing. There's no gear levers or anything to actually use. It's literally, and I'm staying in my position here, I'm being positive. Look at that. And I was being positive there, and you get people forcing past. And this is the exact reason why I'm doing this video today. That car should have waited, and then I'm going to go back to my position to the left, and then that car should have come past. That's terrible driving, and that's getting reported. End of story. They put me at danger. The roads are terrible. The surface is awful. Honestly, that's a disgrace. So I'm going to turn right at this roundabout. An early right signal for the Audi. It's fine. They're going to stay there. Thank you. So it changes to the different gears at different speeds than I thought, and because I'm slowing down now and just taking off the pressure from the pedals, it's now automatically gone back down to first gear. So when's my gap coming? Don't know. I've put it in Sport Plus mode. That one's starting to go, yes, and we've got a little bit more boost. I'm just putting the right arm signal again and again, staying in primary. No one to right signal to coming out of that road, but I am going to left signal and come across back into primary with the left lane. So it changes up gears all on its own, and also it changes down gears. It's a torque sensing motor, and honestly I think it's quite nice because you don't have to worry about what gear you're in. It does it all on its own. I'm staying again out in primary. There's a room for other people to overtake. We've got the junction here, and the reason why I was out in primary is in case anyone overshoots the junctions. So no worries there. What about this one? Again, I'm just going to check, glide out into primary. I'm at 25k, my assistance is finished, so this is limited to 15.5 miles an hour. Little gripe about this bike that, I'm going to turn right again, little gripe about this bike, I haven't found a way to change it 2 miles an hour, although it's not a big deal. I would have liked that opportunity. So I'm turning right at the roundabout again, staying in primary. Can flow onto the roundabout. Electrical assistance is great. Very windy today. Don't need a right signal to take my hands off the bar, but I am going to put, no, I'm not going to put a left signal on. Stay in primary, and then I'm going to hold my position up to these parked cars. All right, so if I stay only up to 25 kilometers an hour, I've got this nice assistance and it's coping with this hill easily. But the thing about this bike is, because it's a torque sensing motor, the power's there not all the time. It sort of like gives you it when you give yourself a little bit more pedal pressure, so it still keeps you relatively fit. It's an ideal commuter bike. The tyres are probably gravel spec, I would say. Wide enough to go down little dirt paths, give you that little bit of grip. Now I'm going to just show you a few little turns now as well, where I would position. So I'm out in primary because I'm going to do a turn. I do not want motorists coming past me at this point. I'm around to go into primary as well. So do you get triggered when a cyclist is doing that, doing a left turn? Or if you are a cyclist, do you not take up primary to do turns? It's quite important. So knowing the world, how you want anyone to come past. A little shoulder check there is just to say to that driver, I know you're there, I'm here purposefully. Okay, I am going to go ahead here. I'm going to stay in primary, pointing at the road across the other side, although this is a one-way street. And I'm going to make a little move. Thank you, that lady was very good. She appreciated that fella's not looking. Okay, so what did I do when he wasn't looking? I didn't want to be in that space behind him as he was reversing, so I just checked and slowed down. I'm going to come back in a little bit here, but I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm going to have a problem with parked ones, which I'm not. Okay, so I'm going to have a little go at a right turn. The road narrows a little bit here, that's why I've picked it, but we can see the join in the road. It's where the centre line is, and that's where you need to be, about an arm width away from that centre line. No problems. I've come off the pedalling, so the gears are naturally going to be there. Check my shoulder again, round in primary, and then reassess before I head back out again. Easy enough. Let's try another one. This time I might have to be a little bit closer to the centre line because we're still going to be a door's width away, but my speed allows me to still do it. What I'm going to do here, yeah, I'm all good. Slow control, don't cut the corner just in case anyone's going to come out. So, is that what you would do if you were doing a turn? Interesting perspective here that we're trying to educate, yes, cyclists, but mainly motorists to understand. And you can see by that car that came past me closely before that that's not necessarily the case. Motorists don't know why cyclists are doing certain things. I have to teach this a lot to driving instructors, so well, you driving instructors, if you didn't know this, honestly, implement it. So I'm turning right at the end. So, in fact, I'm not. Change my mind. I'm going to go left because I've got some centre lines on this road a little bit here. So, what position should I take up? It's a poorly parked vehicles, but imagine where the centre line is again. I'm turning right. I should be about an arm width away from where the centre line would be. Just stop a little bit further back sometimes from the giveaway. You're not as long as a car, so therefore to go all the way up to that giveaway isn't as imperative. So I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to turn right. That's the position I should be in, and have a little look. Where do we need to get up to? There's my phone going, we're not answering that one. Round into primary, and then we're good again. Okay, so that's rights and lefts. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the second left here. Be careful of your signalling with where you are with these manhole covers, especially on a bike like this that doesn't have any suspension. Now, little question. Has my heavy breathing stopped a little? It has. That's because we're in the second highest setting now, Sport Plus. So we're not even on boost mode. I think that obviously is the top level. I don't think it makes your highest speed any different. I'm just going to turn left. So again, doing a left emerge from primary in this side of the road, and I'm going to maintain that position all the way around. Don't need to stop. I'm going to slow and let the van finish. Happy. Reassess. Back to secondary. Check. Just slow it down. Don't cause any issues. How many of Cycling X would have been flying into that, waving their hands and causing an issue? It's just an everyday occurrence. Just back off. But cars, you have to be better than that. Interestingly though, I'm going to take the primary position because we've got bends and I can hear this one coming up behind. No way that I want people overtaking at this point, so I'm just going to hold my position. Can't go anywhere anyway because the lights are on red. The shoulder checks are your communication, and I'm going to show them where I'm going. So again, arm width away from this line. So yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of the contribution to that lady pulling out, although I've got some reflective and bright yellow clothing on. I haven't got lights on. There is a light sensor on this bike which turns your lights on when it goes dark, but I'm just going to press and hold and put these on now. Okay, there is one at the back, but that's another little gripe because it doesn't work with the electrical charge of the bike. You have to press it on and it's battery controlled. It's just the little light underneath the seat. It's quite neat, but I don't know why all manufacturers just don't put rear lights on the bike. They're electric, just saves you the bother of having to charge them up all the time. So no problems with our amount of boost. It's changed gear already and it's up into third already. And again, I'm just holding my position, and again I'm going to stay in primary for this, and because I've again backed off, I'm slowing this car down, so therefore it's less risk for me at the end and I'm able to keep it moving. Stay round in primary, and just if I take my time, these are all gone, I won't even have to do anything. Slow speed control's dead easy on this bike. Now I'm okay with this junction on the left, but I am going to give a vehicle enough room to come past. Can I keep it moving? Not quite. Okay, the flat bars on this bike, it's quite a sporty position. You can get an option for higher bars, but I quite like it, to be honest. Just be careful in the position here again. Not going to cut through and force through. I'm just going to hold back a little bit further in case people need to use this space to get in or out. But yeah, there's a dropper seat post on this bike as well. So you set it where you want it, and then there's a range of adjustment of probably 6 inches of seat travel, which is quite nice as well. I think that's a pretty good little option. Like I said, there's no suspension. We've got hydraulic Tektro disc brakes. Just gonna stay. I don't want to go too close to this left hand side. I've got to give myself wiggle room to this left. Just showing a little bit of caution with the Audi driver. Yes, we're good. I'm just going to take this slip road. So yeah, we've got some decent stopping power. Again, I'm just aware of people around. No way I was going to stop at that amber light. So we've got hydraulic Tektro disc brakes. They are, as I've often found with bikes like this, they're the wrong way round for me. This one on the right hand side is the back, and that one's the front, the one on the left hand side. So wrong way round. I don't know how you could get them changed. I am going to turn right shortly, so I'm heading over here. Again, primary position just for now, listening and watching where people are. No problems. It's got mud guards front and back as well. I'll definitely use them if you're definitely going to be commuting. Now, when should I put a signal on? I'm going to take Albany Road, the second one. So again, I want to be about an arm width away from this line, which I am. Shoulder check, round into primary, and we're good. So yeah, we've got mud guards. What should I do with this? I'm just going to talk to this driver. Don't go battling with people like that, because he wasn't stopping. Keep yourself safe. Thank you, buddy. He was a lot better, that van driver. I'm being quite positive with my position here. So don't expect cyclists just to instantly have to give way just because you're driving 2 tons worth of metal box. It's not the case. Cyclists have got much right on the road as anyone else. It's quite embarrassing when people say, pay no tax, you know, insurance. Hang on a minute. Most cyclists drive as well. They're just choosing not to use the car when they can. And this is also another reason for this video. We need to get less car reliant. We've got to make sure that we're honestly not just using the car for silly little journeys. Use your bike instead. So position, making sure early no one's going to cut, and I'm good. Round into primary. What should I do here? Could be positive, and I am going to be, just to say to that one slow down, but now I'm going to help out. Thank you. Great driving there, fab. So I'm pretty impressed with this bike. I'd like to say a massive thanks to ENGWE. I'm glad Aaron, who conversed with us last time, didn't get sacked. But all I would say, if you're ever sending me anything, do a little bit more due diligence, because I'm not just recommending something that's going to be illegal. Bizarre, but fair play to ENGWE. They've accepted what I said. It is an off-road bike. The bike has gone to South Wales, if you didn't know, on a sheep farm. I'm going to keep you updated with that. But the main purpose of this video today, yes, there's a little bit about having a look at this bike. But the main purpose is to try and educate all road users on why cyclists take up certain positions to do certain things. Last couple of things with the bike. The range is pretty good. I've done all of that cycling. I don't know how long I've done. I've done 9 kilometers. Fair play. I think I probably had a little go last night, maybe did a kilometer or 0.8. So we've probably done 8k. And it's down to 90%. Now, obviously that depends on how fat you are, like I am. It's going to use more battery. The modes you use, uphill or downhill, it's going to change. Now, are we into a situation here where the sensors haven't picked up that we're here? There's a problem with certain lights, isn't it? Interesting. There we go. So it did sense I was there. All right, no problem. So yeah, the battery in this ENGWE I'm not sure the actual mileage you can get, but I never pay too much attention to them. Look at the reviews, look what people get real time, and it'll give you an idea on what's what. But you can get an extra battery for under the tray at the back. You can have a rack over the back wheels. They did send me one, but I just didn't put it on. But there's a battery attached to a different rack that you can actually add further miles. They quote a massive range as well. I'm sure it's in the hundreds of kilometers. Not quite sure about that, but it's definitely enough for most commutes. The quality does also feel pretty high on this bike, I'm not gonna lie. Does feel a step up. Even the bell that you get sent does seem nice. The feel of the bike's good. You get rubberized pedals, so your feet aren't going to slip off in poor weather. Position here again, primary to aim to primary across the other side, not quite going up to this line. There's no benefit to me on a bike. You sometimes need to get a bit further out when you're in a car for view. Here, it's absolutely irrelevant. So, most of the drivers have been good as gold, just apart from that one. And it's they're the type of people who I am trying to educate. Are you one of those drivers who just thinks all cyclists should be over there in the gutter out the way? Well, if you do, you're wrong. Thanks a lot to ENGWE. I'm going to leave a link in the description about this bike. Don't mind people accepting mistakes, and full credit to ENGWE for doing that. And thanks for sending this bike. It is a sponsored video, as you can guess, but as normal, I'm not just going to do a review on the product. We've got to get some educational messages out there. And I'll see you all soon. Keep safe.